Welcome. Good to see everyone. We are back in session. My name's Mitch Colapinto. This is Gian Bernini.
What is really going on? What is really going on?
And we're stoked to be here drinking Lagos. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Like I said, my name is Gian. I'm team manager and marketing for Surfboards. I work with both of you kids. I've been pretty busy. We've been doing a lot of not only contests, but like videos and trips and marketing of new models, so it never ends.
So you just finished up with the US Open and you're working with all these athletes. Which athlete do you really like working with?
I have different relationships with a lot of the athletes. I have like Ian Crane is a really close friend of mine. We hang out a lot. The guy calls me almost every day. We talk about life stuff, not only work. So I have a special thing with him. I have a really special relationship with Yago Dora. Not only him, but his dad and the people around him. I brought him to the team and we became really good friends. We travel a lot. I used to go to all the CTs in the beginning, like from 2016, 17, 18. And I would hang out with them, stay at the same house and get into the program. I really like the program of the athletes, like waking up early and then eating healthy, training, only talk. It's surf 24/7. You wake up, you check the waves, you go surf, you talk about boards, surf, film, come out, see the footage, talk about the footage, surf again in the afternoon, come back home, get a good meal with health food, and do a little workout and talk about surfing all day. Being in that program is really good for me. I think is one of the things that make me love what I do.
Yeah.
But normally I get really close to, not only to the athlete but the family, like your kids, Griffin and Crosby. I've been working with them since they're really young. So seeing them growing up, you get like attached to the person. It's not only like your athlete, it's like it's your buddy.
And I'd have to say, that's what we would love so much about Gian, and I'm so glad that you came to the show because, a lot of people come and go in your life, and that's what our family loves so much about you is that you've really become part of the family, and it's pretty amazing in this surfing world, like you said, like you're all in, right? And everything's so important from the coaching to the physical trainer, to the mental coach, to the surfboard shaper, and
The
diet, everything,
routine,
and then
equipment. Yeah.
I think that's where your specialty is. So you're coming in as this guy that's in the middle of the shaper and the surfer, and helping them get their boards and being at the events. I know that the kids have traveled with you a little bit. I think was Crosby in Australia with you or Brazil?
Yeah, Crosby. Last year, Matt sent me to the Challenger Series. At least I went to the first two events in Australia. And I hang out a lot with the boys, Crosby, Cade, Cole, Jet, Eli, Mike Rodriguez, all the kids that were there. And I traveled with Griffin a few times for CT too, like in Australia and Brazil. And yeah, I've been at the locations with the boys a lot.
Right. Do you have one in particular that you remember that you're fond of?
Brazil last year was really fun because we rented a house with everyone. It was me, Crosby, Jet. Who else was at the house? Me, Crosby, Jet, Michael Dunphy, Brody Sales, and then Cole was in a different house. Eli was in a different house, but we had like ping pong tables and a pool table, and everyone would go there like in between comps. We have like a lot of late days, so everybody was hanging at the same house. And it was the first time that everyone was in Brazil, and since I'm from Brazil, it was like really cool to like drive around, show them around, and Camille was calm that I was there, so it was like driving.
Thank goodness Gian was there. Yeah, Camille's always worried. And are you going this year?
Yeah, Kolohi really wants me to go. I'm still negotiating with Matt. These days he wants me to stay in the office more so I can do more stuff than traveling around and having fun with pro surfers.
You have a lot of hats on. Everybody wants you, right?
Yeah, but I might go this year. It's like it's the last event of the year. Kolohi asked me to go. We rented a big house. Kolohi rented a big house for like 11 people are going to stay at the same house. I hired this girl to cook for everyone, and It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Sounds like a party. Tell me a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about the 2%. I know it's fairly new, and I know you've been involved with a little bit. What are your thoughts about where it's going?
I think the idea it's amazing. I think that Kolohi's gathering the community together. All the kids are supporting each other, helping each other, learning with each other. They're staying the competition together all the way to the end, even if they lose. And I think that's really cool. Like the Brazilians used to have that. That's why it came like the Brazilian Storm because they're always together, screaming and cheering each other.
Used to have it.
I feel like the Brazilians are not as tight as they used to be anymore.
Huh.
For example, at the U.S. Open, all the boys from the United States are together, screaming super loud every turn that
Yeah.
any of the athletes did.
Right.
And the Australians the same. I saw them doing that, staying together at the same house, staying together at the competition area, and screaming for each other. And I didn't see that with the Brazilians. Did you?
Actually, no. Yeah.
And it used to be a big pack, and they're all screaming and doing stuff. And I don't know why that's happening, but I feel like they learn from watching the Brazilians.
Oh, for
and
sure. Yeah.
They all got together now, and it's amazing. Like I went to the Challenger Series last year. Cole, I think he only made hits in the U.S. Open. He did he passed 2 rounds, maybe 3. I don't remember. Eli lost every heat first round. He was super bummed. Crosby didn't even qualify for the Challengers.
Yeah.
He got a couple wild cards, didn't do well. He was super bummed. And all those kids stayed together and trained together. And they were doing like little competitions every weekend and training hard and eating and watching Griffin and studying heats and doing all that. And then this year, Cole's already qualified 3 events prior to the end.
Amazing.
Crosby's right there. Eli just won his first event. Cade last year had the problem on his back, and then he got the surgery.
Right.
And everybody's like, "What's gonna happen?" He's even better than he was before.
Right.
It's like crazy the how he evolved in a year, and all those kids did.
It really going back to the U.S. Open. We did maybe 7-8 days of mock heats down in Oceanside, running 3, 4, 5 heats. I was filming, bringing it back to Griffin's house, breaking it down, and like. I do think that the camaraderie and working together before the event, that's where all the work really happens. You know, then they get there and they're ready, they're primed.
Not only that, but I hang out with the kids out of the training on the beach and just at the house, and how they talk to each other. Like for example, Cole this year, he broke the code and he got in super fast and was doing really well. And the kids was like, dude, really serious, Cole, like what happened? What did you change? And Cole would go and like try to explain and use the correct words, and like Griffin stimulated all of them to have the little book to write stuff down. So they are writing down, they're talking about the notes and the mental stage, and I changed this, like I'm just trying to have fun even if I lose.
Right.
I'm not being so hard on myself, because if I do the hard work of training hard physically, surfing every day, watching my footage and all that, getting all my equipment dialed, I go there at the competition, I give my all. If I lose, that's it. I'll just try to learn from it, but that doesn't mean that my life ended there. I can just go and have fun.
Right. They had to have that perspective. So let's go back a little bit. I know that you grew up in Brazil. You moved to San Clemente, I think when you were in your 20s.
30s.
Right? 30s. And before you came here, you had another career in Brazil, and I think the fans would love to hear a little bit about the Gian before he came to the United States.
When I was 23, I got invited to act in a TV show. It's like a soap opera for teenagers.
Soap opera, yeah.
And I did that show for 2 years. After that, I did a couple like other soap operas, little parts in movies.
You're pretty famous when you're doing that soap opera.
Anyone that they put in the show gets pretty famous. I don't know if it was like I was famous, like the show was really famous. So yeah, I got a lot of like exposure in my life.
People knew you everywhere you went. People were calling out
I
your
don't know
name.
if you guys see like how the fans are with Felipe and Gabriel in Brazil.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that, but it was pretty close.
Wow. While you were doing that, you were always a surfer, right? Growing up in Brazil, and then did you have this dream to get out of Brazil and come to the States?
Yeah, I started surfing when I was 10, And then when I was 12, a friend of mine gave me a tape that he recorded over it. The Lost movie called What's Really Going Wrong.
So that was the
And it was
start.
like the first movie that I ever saw, and I saw like all the punk rock songs and Chris Ward and Corey Lopez, the attitude, like Jackass kind of like attitude and crazy stuff they were doing, surfing waves that I related with because like beach breaks, closeouts, doing airs and stuff, and
Yeah.
girls and this and that. I was like 12, so I got very impressed with that. And in Rio and I basically in Brazil, you get a lot of like the influence from the American culture with the movies, music, lifestyle, all that. So I always had the dream to come here. And when I got to the TV show, I had the opportunity to choose like which brands I would like to like work with and get like sponsored and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
So on the TV show, I was a skater, so I had a double that was a professional skater, and he was sponsored by Lost Brazil.
Oh.
So I talked to him, and he gave me the number of the guy there, and the guy said, "Yeah, we sponsor you." So they started to sponsor me. I created a relationship, and with time, I started to help them out with like marketing and events and this and that. And Matt started to go to Brazil for the events there, and I was one of the only persons in the company that knew how to speak English. And the events were in Rio, and the company was in São Paulo. So the guy's like, "Hey, can you help us out?" So that's how I met Matt Biolos.
Okay.
I started to take care of him when he was in Rio, and he went like 3 years in a row. And then at the end of the third year, it's like, "Hey, if you ever want to visit, I got a job for you."
How was that, Matt Biolis coming to Rio, taking care of him?
It was fun.
Uh-huh.
It was really fun. Matt's a really cool guy. He helped me a lot. He gave me a lot of opportunities. He opened a lot of doors for me. He's a very creative guy, and he has a peculiar like personality that a lot of people misjudge. But I know how to relate and talk to him, and when I'm supposed to be close, when I'm supposed to walk away, and all that. So I think that's why our relationship works really well.
Yeah.
So it was really fun. He was like, I was addicted on Lost. I had all the videos. I knew all the surfers, like Corey Lopez, Chris Ward, were my heroes, then Mason Ho, all those guys. So I loved the guy, and I showed him a good time. He liked it, and then he invited me to come here. I came, worked for 6 months, and then he said, "If you want the job, it's yours." I went back to Brazil, sold everything I had, and
Wow.
been here since.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, how was it when you came here? Was it hard at first coming to a new country and, I mean, just getting all started all over again?
I would say for a lot of people, like the culture in Brazil and here is very different. I had a few things that were like working my way. So I have family here. My uncle lives here. He has a daughter. My cousin, she's married. She has 2 kids. So I had family here. So when I first flew here, I stayed at my uncle's like for 6 months.
Oh, nice. Right.
Yeah. So that was the base. Like, even if I don't make a lot of money, I have a place to stay and all that. I always felt like I was a misfit in Brazil by the kind of music that I like, the videos that I watch, and the way that I dress, the things that I like to do. I had a group of friends that do the same thing, but like compared to the culture in general in Brazil, it was kind of a misfit.
Right.
So when I came here, specifically San Clemente, like I had lowers every day to surf. And I was like, it's just one of the best waves in the world. And then I love to skateboard, and there's like skate parks everywhere. And I was working at Lost with like Taj Bura would walk in, Corey Lopez would walk
Wow.
in, Kalohi was there.
So you're working with all your heroes, all these guys
Yeah,
you
like-
looked up to.
So it was like a dream come true. And like Matt liked me. I worked hard, so he was giving me. I started like part time, and then after a few months, I was like full time, just doing whatever they gave me, like packing boards, swiping the floor,
Wow.
filing
Yeah.
paper, whatever. Just give it to me. And
And I've seen you work. You are a hard worker. You definitely got a good work ethic.
I just felt like when I came here, I was 30, and I fell in love with the city and the lifestyle and being at Lost, and I was like, this is my dream. Like when I was acting stuff, I felt like I didn't belong, and when I got here, it was like one of the first times in my life. It's like I belong here. This is what I want. like the work that I was doing at Lost in the beginning was a lot of hard work with stuff that I don't necessarily like, but I felt way better than like when I was doing this TV show that was I didn't have the passion for it.
Right.
I love this, so I worked really hard and I just had one goal in my life. It's like no matter what, I'm gonna move to the US. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna work at Lost. I'm gonna be the team manager. I'm gonna be the marketing manager. I'm gonna
Surf
travel
lowers.
the world, and I'm gonna have world champions under my team
Wow.
as
So
a team manager.
you're on track to doing everything that you wanted to do. What was the hardest part about getting here? I mean, so it's pretty amazing. You're on your way to living your dream, but what was the hardest part about getting to where you are now?
I had to work really hard in a lot of things, getting my English better, understanding the culture is very different. Like in Brazil, we're very emotional and passionate about stuff. Over here, people are more like professional. Business is business. There's not emotion related to that. It's like little things like that I had to learn, and then I had no credit, so building my credit was hard. Finding places to live and like I need help of people to co-sign for me, stuff like that, and like getting a car. Uh, those little things are hard, and then the paperwork to get the green card and become a citizen.
Yeah.
It's a long process. It's a
Here's
lot of
to
money.
you becoming a citizen. What was
Yeah.
that? Was that just a year ago?
Less than a year ago,
Yeah.
October 27.
Yeah.
Yep. So that process was really, really hard, but I made it. I'm on the other side of it. I'm psyched on it, and the process was hard, but it was good. And I had this first time in my life. I had this like kind of a fate inside of me. It's like I believe it that I was gonna accomplish what I had in my mind, and no matter what happened, I was gonna do it. And it was the first time that happened. And I had like this thing like no matter what, this is gonna happen.
You have determination. You have a work ethic. I see it with all the surfers. I see the dedication. I mean, Gian, like you'll do anything for your team, any day of the week, any time. It's the kids.
Not quite.
And you know what? All the riders that are there that are working with Lost and with you, they know that, and I think that goes a long way when you know that you're being supported by everybody, by you and Matt and the whole Lost team, because it's a big team, right? You guys have a massive production going on right now.
We do. We have a big team, and like this year's been crazy because Griffin's doing really well. Iago's doing really well. Carissa always does well. Caroline's doing really well. Gabriella Bryant made the cut second year in a row. Young Gentil is riding for us now. And this is just the CT guys that demand a lot of attention and boards and details and conversations with Matt and trying boards and trying this and trying that. And then these kids that will be working with them since they're really small, suddenly with the 2%, and they all getting together under the leadership of Kalohi Andina, which I have a big respect and admiration for everything that he does for San Clemente, the community here.
Oh yeah.
They're just killing it. They're pushing the level, and
We're sitting here right now. Cole qualified. Crosby's knocking on the door. Cade is right there. Jet. Who else is on the
Eli.
Eli, yeah. So Lost Surfboards is booming. Matt Violas is making incredible boards. Gian is making sure that the boards are getting made. I mean, would you say like that's, you know, Matt's getting them dialed in, but you're making sure they're getting glass. You're making sure that they're.
My job is basically to organize Matt's life. Like, for example, the boys go to the office, have a meeting with Matt. Matt designs the board, and he's saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. So I have to do the order cards, make sure they get cut on time, and then Matt shapes them, do the quality control, all that. Then they go to the glass shop. I have to make sure that they get done on time, deliver the boards to the boys, and then start to do like photos and videos for social media. That's part of my job too. And then get the feedback. This board works, that doesn't work.
Speaking of which, you just are finishing up with a whole series of episodes, right? With the
We did the round nose fish 5'5", 19 and a quarter century.
Go see it if you haven't.
Yeah, it's on our YouTube channel, lostnetwork.com.
And we have to talk real quick. Speaking of jobs, did you have a job of going on this tour bus across the East Coast with this reckless isolation?
Oh
thing?
yeah, so when
That looked pretty crazy, by the way.
Kolohe did the reckless isolation movie.
During COVID, they went to Indo.
Yeah, they went to Indo, and then when he got back, he did a tour. He did like I think 5 places here: San Clemente, San Diego, LA, Santa Cruz, and then we went to the East Coast from Orlando all the way to New Hampshire.
Wow.
We did the whole coast, and it's like super cool rock star bus with like 12 beds in it, bathroom, living room, TV room. It was pretty crazy.
And so what, you'd go show the movie and then load up the bus?
I got hired to do like social media during the tour, so it was just filming and doing like stories and posts for Lost and for Red Bull. And basically what we would do, would get to a town, probably like a local surfer would get together with us. We go to like the best wave of the day, surf,
Oh, nice.
film that, get out of that, eat somewhere, then go to a surf shop, do a signing with posters and stuff, with all the athletes with us. Then we would go and show the movie like in a theater or in a park or in a whatever place that we were able to rent.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we will go to the closest bar around or the coolest bar in town and take like all the kids that watch the movie and go there and celebrate with them.
Wow.
And go back to the bus, sleep while the driver's going to the next town, wake up and repeat for like 12 days in a row.
Sounds like a good life. Surf,
Yeah,
sign autographs.
I didn't sign
Party.
one single autograph. It was really fun. It was good. It was good for me to like bond with the kids.
Right.
It was good for me to I got to know the whole East Coast,
Right.
South or North, and like see the little towns and all the surf thing. And I think it was it's been a long time since someone did that, and I think it was great that Kolohe did it and showed all those kids like how the East Coast
Right.
is and the contact with the fans and what you can do if you put effort into it.
And I think that's, Kolohe, he's doing such a great job. Isn't he giving back and bringing out movies and putting together the 2% and building up this next generation? And I really think that you're a big part of it because, like you were saying, the relationships that you build, right? The writers that are writing for you and Matt, it's kind of a family.
It's definitely a family. Like I said that before. Like it's not only liking our board, it's liking our program and like getting well with Matt and know how to communicate with Matt, know how to communicate with me,
Yeah.
and like know what we do, what we don't do. There's people that identify with that, and there's people that don't,
Right.
which is completely normal. It's not right or wrong or anything like that. So the athletes that we work with, they're people that we normally work for years, and we have this big relationship, and we invest them since they're kids, and we believe in them. Like Eli was a phenom when he was a little kid, and for a long time he was not getting any results, and then now he won the U.S. Open, and our relationship never changed.
Right.
Yeah.
You've backed him from the beginning, no matter what.
Yeah, Matt's he has this thing. He's really loyal to people,
I like that about him.
and I learn a lot with him with those things.
And he's a hard worker. People don't know it. What I like about Matt is he works hard and he plays hard, and he's dedicated to his family.
People have no idea, and Matt's crazy. He works really hard, and he works because we have the surfboards that he has to do the stuff for the athletes, but we also have to have a business, so we have to do all the other models that works for all the people that surf bad or learning or surf good, or like weekend warriors that used to surf good but they don't have the same like
That's
physic
me.
anymore and all that. So we have to do that business and do the marketing for that business. And then he has skateboards companies that he works with. He has the snowboard company with LibTech.
That's
he has,
right.
Like Lost Australia, Lost Japan, Lost Brazil, Lost Europe, Lost South Africa, Lost El Salvador. Like there's
Wow.
so many places that he has to do and do files and go there and train people. He's always like you see him traveling, but every time he's traveling, he's going to a place to like train people, teach people, show the new models.
So if you see him in the water, don't ask him questions about surfboards because he just wants to surf.
Well, and then Matt's like he's past his 50s already, and like
It's rough.
his
let me tell
son
you.
now, River, it's 14, I think, and he's super passionate about surfing. And then Matt's like, dude, I've been working hard for so long. I don't know for how many years I'm still gonna be able to travel and surf and do all the things I'm doing.
Right.
It's like I want to enjoy my son now that he's a teenager and he loves to surf. I love to surf, and he trusts in me and Mike and all the Lost Surfboard team. So, and we have a pretty Ben Kelly is our general manager and is a really good guy, and he keeps things very organized. And Mike and Matt trust him, trust me, so they can travel a little bit more and just delegate stuff. Hey, I did all the files. This is all you have to do. I'm out. And then he goes enjoy his life a little bit, and he comes back, and things are working.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Oof. I just turned 40.
Oh, you're 40? That makes me feel old. Oh, my God.
In 10 years,
You'll probably be
Jesus.
running the Lost Ship and Matt will be retired.
Well, Matt still have to design the boards. I'm no shaper. I've learned a lot about the like I learned a lot about boards when I was cutting boards for Matt, and all those 10 years that I worked for Lost in the US, plus the 9 years that I worked at Lost Brazil. So I've been in the company almost 20
Wow.
years. That's crazy.
Wow, yeah. Maybe you'll be retired in 10 years.
I hope so.
Living on a pension.
In 10 years, I want to be a guy. I want to have like passive income. I
Yeah.
want to have a couple of properties here in San Clemente, and
Yes.
just not working as hard as I am right now, but still involved with the kids and traveling and doing that because it's my passion.
That really is the best part, right? Being involved with the kids, helping them reach their goals, being a part of the family, right? This surfing family, Lost and San Clemente, and now you've brought in Brazil as well, and there's so many wonderful people from Brazil, like you said, Yago and his dad, and Michael Rodriguez. Like, I think that's another part of what you're doing, is you're connecting Brazil with America and the different families, and you're seeing it on tour. You're seeing a lot of these surfers come together.
Yeah, we also have guys like João Duhu from
Oh,
France, or guys from Australia, and yeah, we have a pretty good program going on. I'm really happy to be part of something bigger than me. Like, I always wanted to be a pro surfer and be on tour, but I never had the skills to do that. So I'm very happy to be part of a program of a guy like Griffin or Kolohi or Carissa Moore. There's like gold medalist, 5-time world champion, and just be a little part of the engine that make that happen. Just make me part of something bigger, and it's really, really cool. And a thing that I love, like competitions, when you go, it's a lot of stress. Like every heat, you're
I
stressing
was just gonna
out.
say, Gian gets nervous just like mom and dad. I heard at the U.S. Open, Marina said, "Oh, Gian, he has to watch it by himself."
Yeah, I get pretty nervous. Like, you have Griffin and Crosby too. I have like 20 guys
Yes.
and 10 girls that I have to be nervous every heat. But when you win, it's such a big joy that those kids feel. And when you're right next to it, like for example, I normally grab the boards or I lift them and have them on my shoulder and all that. And the energy that they're feeling with the victory, you can feel it. That like I cry like a little
You're
baby.
part of it. You help them get there when you're in your little way of like
But
just
not only that, it's just like they're so happy that they're putting this energy out, and just being there, you feel it, and it's so rewarding.
Right.
Like my girlfriend Marina, this last U.S. Open was the first U.S. Open that she went with me. She trains like Sawyer. She does like gymnastica.
this was her
natural.
first one.
This was her first one.
Oh.
So she trained Sawyer with the like gymnastica natural stuff, and like
Oh.
Sawyer won the contest, and I
Yes.
was supposed to grab the board, but I pulled her and gave her the board, and she went behind Sawyer all the way into the podium and all that. And then she was crying. She was like, I never cried in a surf contest before. And I said that you were too close to Sawyer when she won, so you felt the whole energy and the whole thing. And that's
Wow.
a really cool part of my job, at least for me.
That's what it's all about. We actually had Sawyer on this show maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
She was just a little girl, and now she's going to be most likely on the championship tour. So, yeah, it's exciting times. We're so thankful to have you a part of the team, and I personally am thankful that my boys get to have you as an uncle, and there's so many more great times coming our way, huh?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just living one day at a time and enjoying as much as I can.
Gian, thanks so much for coming on the show and for everything you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.